Hey guys, how's it going? So today we're gonna change out the spark plugs on our 2006 Scion XB. I think I changed out the spark plugs about 4, maybe 5 years ago, so they definitely due for some. It's a little dirty. I might do a follow-up video of me detailing it, both outside and inside. But for now, we'll get started. So what you're gonna need is some gloves. You can use gloves like these, or even just the blue or black regular latex gloves. You're gonna need a spark plug socket, a ratchet, a variety of extensions. I used to have a longer one, but can't find it, so these should make do. I have a little ratchet with a 10mm socket plus a 10mm wrench that we can use to disconnect the battery. And then lastly, we have our spark plugs. So I went ahead and these are gapped, and so these are good to go. All right. So first thing you have to do is pop the latch for the hood, which I have right here. Once you have the hood all open, you're gonna see the inside engine bay. As you can tell, this is absolutely filthy. So for sure, I'm gonna detail all of this after I'm done with this install. And then, so the first thing we have to do is disconnect our negative wire from the battery, just as a little precaution. And then we're gonna remove our cover right here. So when disconnecting your negative side of the battery, it's gonna be a 10mm. That's why I got this ratcheting wrench, just to make it a little bit easier. You're gonna have to wiggle this a little bit and it comes right off. Now set it to the side and make sure it's not going to touch anything, and you'll be good to go. All right, so the next step is to remove the cover so we can access our spark plugs. So it's going to have 4 screws or 4 nuts. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's also going to be a 10mm. So you could use a 10mm nut driver, or you can get the socket, which I have right here. So we're gonna go ahead and loosen those up right here, which I went ahead and pre-loosened them, so I can just do this with my hand. Now usually I set these just on top so I don't forget them. So it's 1, 2, 3, and lastly is gonna be number 4. So as you can tell, I'm not really gonna be using the gloves just because I really don't care how dirty my hands get. I've changed these out before, so I kind of know what to expect already. All right, let me put the phone down so I get this off. Oh, got it. Nice. So we'll set this off to the side. All right, so right here is where you're gonna find your spark plugs. So we're gonna have 4 right here. So it's gonna be the same 10mm socket. We can loosen all these out. These are gonna pop out, and we're gonna replace our plugs, which I have right here. So I got these from NAPA. They were about $7, so a lot cheaper. I'm gonna be replacing my spark plugs on my Focus ST, and those were actually 25. So it's kind of crazy, the big difference. So let's get this removed. As you can tell, this video is gonna be pretty quick. Changing these they're super simple. You don't have to go behind anything. Everything's up top. There we go. So we got number 3 and 4. All right, so we got that. Take these off by hand. Yeah, not too sure how many of you are gonna be changing spark plugs on a 2006 Scion XB, but if you can see that if they're similar, then at least you know how to do that. And I'm not expert by any means, but you know, with YouTube and internet, it's so easy to search up, find the proper things you'll need. You know, all the specs to the proper gapping on the spark plugs, which I'll show you in a minute. All right, so we got those all taken off. So next, these just pop right off. So it was 1 right there, 2, 3, 4, and then one by one we'll put our spark plug socket into there, remove the old one, we'll take a look and then replace it. All right, so I went ahead and attached my extension to my ratchet and also put the spark plug socket on here, which if you guys haven't seen a spark plug socket before, inside is going to be a rubber washer which will grab onto the outside of the spark plug to help grip it, and it'll pop right out. So I'm gonna remove the first one right here. We'll set this to the side. All right, so this will fit right in here or not. Oh, what size is this? Too small. Okay, so this is okay, so I went through my shed. I could not find my socket or spark plug socket that I used before. The one I have right here is going to be a 13/16 size. I need to get a 5/8 spark plug socket size. So I'll be running off to the auto parts store to get a thinner one that could fit in this hole right there. As you can see, there's going to be the spark plug down there. All right, so we'll be right back. All right, so now we have the correct spark plug socket. It's gonna be 5/8. So we ran to Home Depot, picked it up for only just under $4. So now we can continue on. We're gonna remove this first little coil pack right there, which I gotta remember what those are called. So that socket's gonna fit right on that plug. Get this right here. Doesn't take much to get these out. If it is going to be a little bit too difficult, just be very careful because you could snap the spark plug by forcing it to come out. All right, so this is coming out nice and slowly. Slowly work it out. Come on. Almost there. For the replacement spark plugs, most likely gonna put some of the oh god, what's it called? It's some sealant to kind of help on the threads so they don't get stuck. Is it anti-seize? Anti-seize? Yeah. All right, so we have our first one out. So, not sure if you guys can see it. It does look, you know, pretty worn out. Come on, let's focus. There we go. So you can see it is kind of warmed out. I'm sure that gap, you know, is a lot wider than what the new ones will be. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little side-by-side comparison between the old and the new spark plugs. So you can probably tell which is the newer and which is the older. You know, one's pretty shiny, the other one's pretty dirty. Let's see if I can go a little closer. All right, so the differences in that gap. So the gap is going to be that little space right there. So the old one, the space is definitely has gone out over the past couple years, most likely past a couple thousand miles. So it's naturally going to happen. So once we get this new one in, it should be running a little smoother. So we won't have to worry about changing these out, you know, for another probably 50,000 miles or so. Okay, so now we have the new spark plug. We're gonna get our anti-seize. We're just gonna put a little tiny bit amount on the threading, so this is gonna make it easier to remove for the next time we need to replace it. So it doesn't take much. Let's see. Go nice and slow. Come on. Well, obviously I don't know how to open up a packet. Wow. Okay. One moment. Alright, so I got some scissors and I went ahead and cut the little packet that I couldn't get before. So now we have it cut open. We're just gonna get some of this and put it right on the threading. And that's all you need. Once it gets in there, naturally because of the threading, it's gonna push it all the way around. Come on, let's focus. There we go. So there we go. Just a little bit on the threading. So once we get it in there, it's gonna get pushed around, get evenly distributed amongst the threading. So to install it, pretty much we're gonna put it back in our little socket. Boom, nice and connected. And then you always wanna do it by hand until you reach the bottom of the threading. Once you get to that point, Then you want to finish it off with just a little quarter turn to get it nice and snug. You don't want to over tighten them. So right there, that's pretty good hand tight. Oh wait, actually I can go more. Cool. So right there it's bottomed out. We're gonna put the ratchet in there, a little turn, boom, just like that, and we're done with the first one. Now we just have to repeat ourselves 3 more times and we'll be done with this quick replacement. Forgot to mention, once you put the new one in, make sure you close it back up. So boom. All right, so we have all four new ones, the new spark plugs in here. Now we just have to get all the bolts and put them back in there. As you saw in the video, a lot of times this comes apart. So if that does happen, you know, so just be very careful, stick it back in there. You might want to put a little bit of pressure and then twist and pop out, and usually all of it will come out. So now let's go ahead and tighten these down. All right, so finishing up, tightening up these. So 1, 2, 3, come on, and 4. Perfect. So before I get everything all buckled back up, I'm gonna reconnect the negative on the battery, tighten it down, start it up. We'll see how it goes. All right, as you can see, it sounds perfect. All new plugs are in. Just looking a little bit dirty, but we'll take care of that right now. So altogether, if you have everything all ready, it should take you 10-15 minutes tops to get these all replaced. For me, I had to run to Home Depot, get a new spark plug socket, and then it's pretty hot right now. It's about 105 degrees, so it did make it a little bit slower, but still very doable. So I'll probably go take us around the corner. Okay, so I showed you guys how to replace the spark plugs on the Scion XB. Just looking around the engine bay, I already see a couple other things I do need to fix. So that'll be cool to make some more videos on how to tackle that. And just overall, I think with this car, I could do a lot of DIY videos, such as, you know, restoring the paint or detailing the paint, detailing the inside. Once I was in there, I did see how dirty it was. And believe it or not, before my dad took over this car, this paint you can actually see a good reflection on. Now is nothing. So it'll be cool to get it back to how it once used to be. Another thing I did notice is the clutch on it is now pretty spongy. So I think I saw a part of it which could be the issue. So it'll be interesting once I have more time, you know, to go online, identify what the part is. But most likely I feel like it does have something to do with that clutch. It feels like it barely engages at the very, I guess, bottom of it. So it'll be interesting to see. So if you did like this might be my first, I guess, automotive DIY video doing for the channel. I shot all of it with the iPhone, so let me know how the audio is, let me know how the video quality is. It'll be cool to have someone who could hold the phone / camera for me and record everything, but you know, it'll be a cool little hobby to do. But yeah, it's 100 degrees. I'm gonna tackle the Focus ST right now. After that, I have a couple cold ones ready for me in the fridge. But thanks guys. Feel free to spread the word about the channel. It'll be cool to get some more comments or just questions or even suggestions on possible videos I can do. But I think the primary focus would be actually the boxcar and not the Focus. So that should be fun. But I guess like everybody says, you know, feel free to like, subscribe, for sure leave a comment and spread the word around. Thank you guys.